Lights, camera, action, I'm splashing.
You're talking to the Rolex wearer, diamond ring wearer, kiss them, wheel and dip, limousine ride, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these Detroit Lions down.
Say, what up though, everybody? It's Mr. Lights, Camera, Action. I'm splashing, bringing you another episode in the season of Up and Smoke. I am your host, and on this podcast, we're self-driven like Waymo, and we're still making plays like Jaymo. Speaking of Jaymo, how you like these threads? Huh? That's it. You know, I had to go get my new Jaymo jersey as he made the switch from number 9 to number 1 this season. Yeah, that's it. And you can see I still got the tag on this jersey. You never know. I might do a little raffle here this year on Up and Smoke. And for the right price, this jersey could be yours. You know, you can consider this a Jaymo Up and Smoke game-worn jersey. This jersey's a medium. I like my shit to fit kind of tight, like your old lady. Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. This is another year, another season I get to do this. I like doing this. I want to do this. This is fun, okay? I'm blessed. Thank you all for showing up, through the smoke with me and staying with me this past year. Like I said, I didn't finish the season last year how I started, which was strong. But you know what? I'm making all the right strides and improvement this go around to make sure I give you guys the best show and best product as possible. Today on this show, we're going to be talking about who I think is going to win their divisions, kind of like my early prediction just right before week 1. I also got my new segment, the Hot Box, so stick around for that. You can see what players I got in the box with me just right before week 1 for good and bad reasons. Also, I'll be breaking down the week 1 slate of things in the NFL. Tell you who's going to win, who's not. Okay? Stick around. Hope to see you through all this smoke. Let's talk about these NFL divisions now, okay? Now, in the NFL, you got 2 conferences. You got the AFC and you got the NFC. Now, in them conferences, it's broken down by 4 divisions. 4 in the AFC, 4 in the NFC. 8 divisions altogether. I'm going to start with this AFC East division first, consisting of the Buffalo Bills, the Dolphins, the Jets, and the Patriots, okay? Now, last year, Buffalo Bills, you led your division with a 13-4 record. I think you're going to do the same this year. You got top 5 easiest schedule in the NFL. I'm not saying you're going to win 13 games, but you're going to win enough to get you to the playoffs. Now, when you do get to the playoffs, everybody knows your fucking MO, all right? Soon as you get to the fucking postseason, you march your motherfucking ass to the middle of the field, the 50-yard line. You squat, you take a big shit. You lay an egg, so to speak. You do this every fucking year. And I think you're going to do the same this year. But you will win the division. Now, Dolphins, Tua, every time I click that fucking television on, I see you sitting in the fucking can. All right? Can we keep you healthy this year? Tyreek Hill. Every time I hear something about you in the media, it's, I just had my 17th, 18th child. And it's like, congratulations for one, first and foremost, because that's a beautiful thing. New life. Okay? But at the same time, I need you to put it down now on the fucking field and not just in the bedroom, all right? I need to see some more production out of you in that Ferrari this year, or you got all the fucking gas siphoned out. You got the Colts week 1, and that secondary ain't shit. I'm expecting a big game out of you. My surprise team in this division, New England Patriots, led by new coach Mike Vrabel. Patriot guy, he's been there with the Patriot way. And you know what? He's a hard-nosed coach, very disciplined, and that's how his teams are. All his teams he's been on, been very well coached, and they're very physical. I see no different here. Got some new additions. Carlton Davis, corner from Detroit, physical, and he's shiesty. You also got Stephon Diggs. He just coming back from injury last year. And when that guy ain't too busy digging out rappers' wives and girlfriends in his off time, he actually has production on that football field. I'm watching out for you, Stephon, this year. I know you're going to have a good season. Let's stay healthy. Patriots are my surprise team in that division. I got the Buffalo Bills winning that division. Now, in the North, you got the Ravens, Steelers, Bengals, and the Browns, okay? What can they do for you? Absolutely nothing, because you're going to remain last in this division. I got the Ravens taking #1 in this division again this year. You bolstered up that team. You got one of the top 5 corners in the league, Jair Alexander out of Green Bay. All right. He came from Louisville with Lamar Jackson. They were actually roommates at Louisville. And that's actually Lamar Jackson's best friend. So I know that's how that connection happened there to get him into Baltimore. Now, Steelers, you got your new quarterback. A-Rod it ain't A-Rod in the Jets no more. It's A-Rod in the Steelers, all right? And you know what? What are they going to do? Now, that defense got a hell of a lot better, even though it was already good. You got Jalen Ramsey over there. You got Aaron Rodgers over there. What type of Rodgers are we getting, all right? The doped-up version or what? DK Metcalf over there. I know he's going to have a good season over there in Pittsburgh. Now, my surprise team in this division, I think it's the Bengals. I think they're going to win at least 1 or 2 more games than they did last year. You got to remember, they were shysted on a couple of them games last year. All right? So I feel like they should have won. They end up getting screwed. Talk about this AFC South division. This one's broken down by the Texans, Colts, Jags, and the Titans. Okay, last year, Texans, you won this division with a 10-7 record. Colts, you had 8-9. Jags, 4-13. Titans, 3-14. Now, I might ruffle some of your tail feathers with this one here. But my team to win this division, Jacksonville Jesus and the Jaguars. That's it. You know what? I'm high on you, Trevor Lawrence, this year for one reason. You know, every time you march on the field and you go, say it, you know what? You're the highest paid at doing that shit, all right? And I haven't seen a lick of shit from you yet, all right? Everybody knows what you are. You're a baller. Everybody knows what you're capable of and what you can do. I haven't seen it yet here in Jacksonville. I've seen glimpses. I get it. You know, a couple bad seasons, new head coaches, OCs, and this and that. Basically, they ain't helping you out. But they did help you out. They helped out that pocketbook, all right? And they also helped you out on that field by getting you the #1 weapon in the draft, Mr. Swiss Army Knife himself, Travis Hunter. That's why I'm taking the Jags this year, because they really got a squad if everybody stays healthy and does what they're supposed to do. My surprise team in this one this year is the Tennessee Titans. I done told you, motherfuckers, stand back. There's a hurricane coming through, and his name is Cam Ward. Now, when I watch Cam Ward throughout his collegiate career, this guy done made everybody on his team better, and he made every team that he was on better. You know, Miami last year, they made the playoffs. Cam Ward's got the type of swagger and the sauce to make everybody better. And you know what? He's going to give the Tennessee Titans something that they can remember. I'm going to tell you this right now. Titans, you went 3-14 last year with Cam Ward under center. And if they stay healthy, they're going to win more than 3 games. I'm telling you that right now. Now, this AFC West division, this is broken down by the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Broncos, and the Raiders. That's it. Now, this year, this might fuck some of you up, but I done told you motherfuckers in previous episodes in passing, and I sound like an old Vitrola by now, because you know what, I keep repeating it. You motherfuckers are running out of hush money, KC, all right? That's why I got the Chargers overthrowing you to win this division this year. Hardball and his hard-nosed teams. Very disciplined, just like Vrabel. You know what I mean? They got them same type of, coaching attributes and just disciplined teams. Chargers were very good last year. They were 11-6. Justin Herbert's a top 10 quarterback. I don't know if you know that or if you thought he fell off. I mean, look at last year. He was throwing to a bunch of nobodies. All right, Lad McConkey, you had 1,000 yards as a rookie. All right, but fuck, at this point, you might as well call me off my couch. Now you got my cousin back this year, Keenan Allen. Keenan, I called it. I said you were going to be back with the Chargers. You were going to go home where it all started. You are Justin Herbert's security blanket, and you're one of the most savviest route runners in the league still. You're getting a little bit older, no doubt, but I know you still got some juice left in that tank. Now, my surprise team in this division, my team, the Raiders, okay? We went 4-13 last year. I think the tables are going to turn a little bit this year. You live and learn when the tables turn. We got Geno Smith under center this year from Seattle. I know, if you watch my shit in passing, I used to rag on Geno, but I used to rag on Geno because you know what? I expect more out of Geno. All right? Every time I watch the guy, he balls out, but sometimes it's underwhelming. Where in other games, he fucking looks like he's Tom Brady. All right? Let's have some consistency. Raiders, we got best running back in the draft this year, Ashton Jenney. I like what we did there. I like what we got on defense. We're improving. We got one of the best defensive players in the league, Max Crosby. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret. In this division, the Raiders always have KC's number. Now, sure, Kansas City gets their fair share of wins, but it ain't easy, all right? And it ain't no different this year because Max Crosby is going to be breathing all down Pat Mahomes' neck. So, hey, knick-knack, paddywhack, I hope you got your swagger back, pussy. Let's talk about this NFC divisions now. Okay, we're going to start with the East. Now, I want to shed some light on this division. That's why I wanted to do this one first. This is the first time in NFL history that this division, or just a division in general, has all black quarterbacks. You got the Eagles with Jalen Hurts, Commanders, Jaden Daniels, Cowboys with Dak Prescott, and the Giants with Russell Wilson now. That's pretty dope. I got my eye on this division this year. Eagles, you won the Super Bowl last year. You also won your division with a 14-3 record. Commanders, you were second place with a 12-5 record. Cowboys 7-10. Giants 3-14. Now I'm just gonna tell you something this year. Ain't nobody in this division gonna beat Philly. I'm gonna tell you that. You ain't got enough juice in the tank, homie. I will say that. Now the Commanders, they got an honest try. All right. Thing that bothers me with Washington this year, what type of Jaden Daniels are we gonna get? I tell you all the time, sophomore slumps are real. Better ask Colson. Ain't that right, C.J. Stroud? And I said it loud. I said, you know what? Sophomore slumps are real. Everybody got to go through it, okay? And it's how you get through it. Understand that. Cowboys, you know what? You motherfuckers might as well just throw in the towel now. You know what, Jerry? You are off your rocker. You old bastard. You traded your whole fucking cornerstone of your franchise away. And you know, what's fucking bothering me is you feel like you walked away with a W. You didn't win this trade. All right, if anything, you just sent Micah to somewhere where he can even be even more juiced up. All right, you sent him to the fucking Rat Pack. I fucking hate the Packers. All right, you think I want to see him in my division twice a year? I don't. But you know what? We got the best offensive tackle in the game in Detroit with Penei Sewell, so I ain't too worried about you, Micah Parsons. All right? And Cowboys, ain't nobody worried about you either, because you ain't going to do shit in this division. You might be last. Fuck around and find out, because the Giants, one of their strong suits is that defensive line. They just drafted stellar rookie Abdul Carter out of Penn State. You got Dexter Lawrence over there. You also got Brian Burns, Spider-Man, and you got Kayvon Thibodeau. All four of them guys healthy. That's one of the best defensive lines in the league. You heard it first. And my surprise team in this division, this year I am going to say the Giants. You know why the Giants? You look at what they got. They're making all the right moves. I feel like they got decent pieces to start going on that upward trend. All right? You drafted my favorite quarterback in the draft this year, Jackson Dart. Dart, a baller out of Ole Miss. He was over there with Lane Kiffin slinging that pill to all them junkies on the corner. Fucking certified baller. All right? And when it comes to the Giants and what they got, he'll probably be starting by week 6. All right, don't forget you still got Jamison Winston in that quarterback room and Russell Wilson too. So all three of them are going to get a fair share and get their looks. I got Eagles winning that division. Let's talk about this NFC West division now. This consists of the Rams, Seahawks, Cardinals, and 49ers. Rams, you won a division last year with a 10-7 record. You were tied with Seattle. Seattle had 10-7 as well. This year, when I look at this division, I think the Rams, they just got, you know what, the better team. They're well put together, better than all these other 3 teams in this division. I like the Rams to win outright this division again this year. My surprise team in this division, Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray. You're in the hot box, bros. You're in the hot box, all right? I need to see you produce now. You're a gunslinger, you know, and you're at a disadvantage with height. For you to be an NFL quarterback, it's obvious you got skill, okay? You got Marvin Harrison Jr. Look for him to have a breakout season. Trey McBride, young tight end over there. The fucking guy had about 130 catches last year, all right? So you got weapons there. And you also got one of the steals in the NFL draft this past year, and cornerback Will Johnson out of Michigan, who I felt Will was the best corner in this draft. Okay, that's no shade to Travis Hunter, but it just is what it is. Now, the one knock on Will, you got hurt towards the end of your career there at Michigan, and I felt like you still could have played in some of them games, even though you didn't. But who am I? Now, you get to the combine, you don't run the 40, so now everybody's questioning your speed. Can you stick with these receivers? But, you know, as I scroll, you know, on my social media feed, it looks like you've had a certain receiver in straitjackets all offseason, Marvin Harrison. All right? Now, no shade to you, but this dates all the way back to Michigan. All right? So it was no different when he got to the league. All right? Now, this is just a little friendly case of iron sharpens iron. All right? As they duke it out in practice every day. You know, that is the Cardinals' young core there. All right? So this is what we're going to be seeing. And I think Will Johnson, you know, I might put my early bid in for you to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. I think you might have a similar career to Sauce Gardner, all right, early like that. Strap down corner, can lock you down and suffocate you. NFC South. Now this division, you got the Bucks, the Falcons, the Panthers, and the Saints. Now last year, Tampa Bay, you led this division with a 10-7 record, but Atlanta was on them coattails at 8-9, and there was a couple more games. You know, they might have caught you and did something there. Panthers, Saints, you guys both had 5-12 apiece. Fuck. All right. Now, if you ask me who I think's going to win the division this year, well, it's simple. Well, and it's the bank show. You know, last year it was all about A-Rod and the Jets. This year, it's all about Baker and the Bucks. Bang, bang, bang. Baker. You know that? And I want to let you know something, too. If there's one person that likes Baker Mayfield as much as I do, well, her name is Becca Harms. And Becca, if and when you see this, hey, that's a shout out to you. And as well as a happy birthday to you. Is it your birthday today? I want you to enjoy your day. That's the homie. We go back. She likes Baker Mayfield too. I mean, how could you not? The guy's a fucking dog. All right? And he plays with a different type of swagger and moxie than a lot of these quarterbacks. So, and he's a guy I want on my side. So, now Atlanta, you guys got Michael Penix underneath center for you this year. Penix, I thought he had a decent season last year. I think he was starting to connect the dots there for him. I think he's going to be throwing dots this year, as he's had his nose in that playbook all off season. So now he can just play without even thinking. All right, get the ball to them weapons. You know, when I look at Atlanta, I see a similar team, the Detroit Lions. All right, broken down by the similar type of players. You know, they got guys that can play inside out. They got backs, receivers, tight ends, the whole nine. Atlanta, you guys are going to compete for 1A in that division with Tampa. Panthers and Saints, you just don't got enough juice, especially you Saints. You know, I told you motherfuckers in previous episodes, you know, Saints, you might as well put that brown paper bag over your head and cut out 2 motherfucking eye holes and put it over your head, because that's just what you are. Like back in the day, you ain't shit. It ain't no different here, all right? And if I was you guys, I ain't the smartest guy in the world, but if I was you guys, I'd be making a call to the New York Giants, okay, and saying, what can you give me for Jameis Winston? All right, it ain't like you ain't got 4 or 5 fucking quarterbacks in that room anyway. What are you doing, hogging them all? Motherfuckers, share. It's Karen. NFC North. One of the toughest divisions in football and the most unpredictable, in my opinion. Now, you never know what you're going to get. This division stacks up against the Lions, Vikings, Green Bay, and Chicago Bears. Now, Lions, we were 15-2 last year. Lions Nation, I'm just going to let you guys in on a little secret. Don't expect that shit to happen again this year. We ain't going to win no 15 games. Let's be realistic and really think of how much luck was on our side last year with everything that we had going wrong for us. All them injuries, and we still managed to come away with 15 wins and only 2 losses. All right, the football gods are on our side, and we're on our side. And I want to let you in on another secret, too, as well. You know, Lions, I like what we're doing. We're showing consistency, having winning seasons. But what's winning if we ain't got no fucking hardware on our hand? All right? Our window for that opportunity, that Super Bowl opportunity, is starting to close. All right? You better act now and act fast. That's all I got to say, because all these teams are going to keep getting better and better. I want you to see what we got now in our fucking division. Now we got to look at Micah Parsons, all right, and hear him rap on his fucking podcast about what he's going to do and what he's not doing, all right? That might have been the reason why Jerry said, you know what, get the fuck out. But it also might have been the reason why Micah Parsons was playing chess and not checkers. Maybe that was his way out the door. Mm-hmm. Vikings, you guys won 14 games last year. You ain't going to do that shit again this year. I'm just going to tell you that right now. You ain't, all right? Going to look a little different for you guys. You ain't got Sam I Am Darnold under center, all right? You at least knew what he could do. We all knew what he could do, all right? Sam I Am, green eggs and ham, all right? Big ass egg and he cracks, all right? And then it leaves him yoked out. Ain't that what they did in Minnesota last year? Won all them games and ain't do dick? Well, no different. Now, J.J. McCarthy, you know, when I sit back and analyze your situation in the league and how you came in the league, dude, they really put you up, man. And they came out with the gold keys for you, dangling them for you, all right? They gave you all these weapons for you to use at your disposal, kind of similar to Caleb Williams' situation. Now it's up to you to use them, all right? Now the Packers, you guys done blew the fucking doors off the offseason in that recent trade acquiring Micah Parsons. It ain't like you guys weren't already fucking stacked on that defense in the draft. You got one of the fastest players, Matthew Golden out of Texas, the receiver, another weapon and playmaker for Jordan Love, as if he don't already spread love to all the motherfucking weapons in Green Bay. Okay, you got to give him another one. But you know what? I'm not worried. I'm not worried about you guys. And when it comes to Chicago, I'm not worried about you guys either, because you got to understand this. Whatever the fuck you guys are trying to run, all right, whatever game you're trying to run, came through us, all right? You know, Ben Johnson thinks he's going to try to take whatever he done did here and duplicate that shit over there, all right? Only one problem. It ain't authentic, okay? This is the Lion way, okay? You went to a team with a quarterback that likes to fucking nail polish his fucking nails, all right? Like, what kind of pussy willow shit is that, all right? Now, Caleb, I like you, Caleb. I think you're a good player. I put all that bullshit aside, all that antic shit you do off the field, because really that's, you got to wear it, not me, homie, all right? But when it comes down to you playing on that gridiron and in between them white lines, you got game. I will say that, okay? Now, I want to see you string something along this year. You got all them weapons, Rome Odunze, Luther Burden. You just drafted him from Missouri, savvy receiver. You also got the number 10th pick, Colson Loveland, the best tight end in the nation, you know? Now, all these weapons are at your disposal. Just like J.J. McCarthy, what are you gonna do, pussy?
Oh, wait! Oh! No cigar? No! Fuck, bitch!
The thing that jamming was the thing of the past.
Got blunt?
Got weed? Man, that shit smell good as hell.
When we get into this other segment now in Up and Smoke called the Hot Box. Now on this segment, the Hot Box, I'm simply going to give you a couple players who I feel going into week one, they're in the Hot Box. Now while in this Hot Box, they can be in this box for good reasons and bad. All right? Now the first guy in the box, Aaron Rodgers. You're no stranger to getting fried. All that goddamn dope you consume in ayahuasca. All right? Now, you're in the hot box, but this week, I got you in the hot box for the right reasons. You know, you play your old team in week one, the Jets, on the road. The Steelers are on the road playing the Jets. And you know what? What are you going to do? Okay, Rodgers, you're going to walk right into MetLife and hit them with a discount double check? Or are they going to walk all over you? Okay, now, some say this might be your last year. I say that all determines on how you do and how your play is this year. Because you know what, with Pittsburgh, I feel like that team's established. All right, you know, the Jets weren't half as shit. Coming to a team in a locker room like Pittsburgh with veterans that want to win. Mike Tomlin, good coach. I put him in the Harbaugh and the Vrabel bracket when it comes to coaching. Just real players coach. Dan Campbell as well too is in that bracket. But Aaron Rodgers, I think you're going to have a decent season there in Pittsburgh. All right, it ain't like you ain't, you know, you can't play in the cold. You've been in Green Bay all your fucking life. So only thing is now you're going to have terrible towels swinging and you're going to be down in black and gold. Now my next guy in the hot box, I'm going to get straight to the chase. It's you, Micah Parsons. Yeah, you. All right, you're in the hot box. I think this might be for all the right reasons, all right? I don't know how you finagled this one. You know, I think you played chess, not checkers when it came to Dallas Cowboys. I think this was your way of getting out of there. All right, you doing that podcast gig you do. You know how you play on Sundays. You know, you hurry up and shower and then go talk your shit around the league and with the guys around the league. You know, I think Jerry had it up to his skull with that shit. All right? But I think that was a power move. And luckily for you, you go to a team that's already fucking juiced up and ain't like they needed you. All right? You come to a team that's already stacked, the Green Bay Packers. They're all young and they play fast. All right? They swarm to the ball. What are you going to do? Now, my next guy that's in the hot box, this ain't for all the right reasons, all right? Yeah, I got a crack on this guy, all right? Daniel Jones, or should I say Daniel Dones, all right? Daniel Jones, you somehow became the starter in Indianapolis. You know, Anthony Richardson, that's a shame. You can't beat this guy out. A guy with your caliber and all your attributes, strong arm, run a 4.4, 6'5", 250 pounds, you know, Cam Newton-esque. you can't put it all together. But you know what? I also do believe in second chances. If, you know what, if they're needed. All right? I think you need a second chance. All right? Just not with Indianapolis. I think you need to get your agent on his gig and find, you know, the best destination for you. All right? When I look at it, Saints could use you. You know, I think you can go over to the Saints and really, you know, turn things around for an organization like that. All right? And when it comes to you, Daniel Jones, you're in the hot box. It ain't like you ain't used to it. You know, I think you like to get stoned. Just not off this, off some other shit. But the way you play, you couldn't tell me otherwise. So, Daniel Jones, you're in the hot box. This other guy got in this hot box, owner in the organization, all right? Dallas Cowboys, you fucksticks. Throw in the towel and do it now before it's too late. No, it is too late. It is too late. You know, you stupid fucks, you traded your fucking cornerstone, all right? What'd you do that for? Jerry, you were known to say in the offseason, yeah, we need to stop the run. Well, you guys ain't going to be able to stop a nosebleed now because you're going to need more than Mozzie Smith, all right, and fucking Amarion Overshown, all right, to stop something. And once again, I'm going to say this. I think Micah Parsons ended up playing chess and not checkers for him to finagle his way to get the fuck out of there. You know, that's about the only smart fucking Cowboy when I look at it and see the bigger picture. He got the hell out of there. Now, he might say he ain't know he was traded, ain't want to be traded, but trust me, with a stench like that over in Dallas, all right, I wouldn't want to be there either. All right, CeeDee Lamb, you still ain't got the fucking hint. All right, the writing's on the wall. Dallas ain't shit, still ain't shit, and ain't gonna never be shit. All right? Now, my other guy that's in the hot box for this week, and really for this season, for all the right reasons, of course, and not the negative. And I don't give a shit of what nobody's got to say about the past when it comes to him, all right, about the shit he did do or didn't do, whatever it may be. That's you, Jaymo. Jamison Williams, all right? You're my favorite Lion, all right? One of my favorite players in the league. Certified baller, all right? Looks like, you know what? You bought into Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes as they bought into you. Lions fans, we bought into you, okay? Now, I know you're going to come out this season. You know, everybody says last season you broke out and you did this and did that. All right? Because that was just the surface. All right? That was just a glimpse of what's to come in the future. All right, Jaymo, I want you to have a injury-free season. All right? Stay injury-free. Stay healthy. And you know what? You do what you're supposed to do. And in tune, the Lions are going to do what they're supposed to do. Like I said, homie, you're in the hot box for all the right reasons. This is Sativa. This is Uplifting. All right? And maybe we can have a few L. George's post-game meals too this season. Let's get into this week one slate of things in the NFL. Now, on this segment, I'm just simply going to tell you who plays who and give you my prediction of who's going to win. Now, this Thursday, 8:20 Eastern time, we got the Dallas Cowboys at the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, Eagles, they're having their banner risen in the stadium for the championship, for them winning the Super Bowl last year. CeeDee Lamb said he's going to be in attendance to watch it on the field. You know, CeeDee, I'd watch it too if I was you, you know, because if you keep staying in Dallas, the rate you guys are going, you ain't never going to win a ring, all right? And you're my guy, CeeDee. But you know what? I got the Eagles to fly around Philadelphia and take shits all over Dallas. So, Jerry, cover your head. This Friday, 8 o'clock Eastern time, we're in Sao Paulo, Brazil at the Corinthians Arena. That's it. We got the Kansas City Chiefs taking on Los Angeles Chargers. KC, you're -3.5 on the spread in this game. I'm just going to tell you this. I like an upset here. I think the Chargers are going to win. And it'll be, a close-knit game. I like the Chargers to pull away with this one. Hardball, hard-nosed type of guy. Chargers defense, they're top 10 defense. All right? And if they get after Pat Mahomes early, it might be hell. Travis Kelce, are you going to arrive at this game, or are you going to, be in a blank space somewhere? Dolphins at Colts. All right? We got the Dolphins on the road. Colts are -1.5 on the spread in this game. You know what? I'm just going to say this. Daniel Jones, I mean, really? Indianapolis, I mean, Anthony Richardson, you can't be that bad. You can't be that bad, bros. Because this guy here is a fucking walking traffic cone. All right? Daniel Jones ain't shit. All right? Which is why I like the Dolphins to get the win on the road. All right? Tua Fish, they ain't going to crack this can, homie. Raiders at the Pats. All right? Patriots, you're -2.5 on the spread. You're home. I'm just going to tell you this. Drake May, you better say your prayers and take your vitamins, you motherfucker, because you're going to have a lot of heat bearing down on you with Max Crosby. I'm just going to tell you that. And I also want to tell you this. I got the Raiders to get an upset on the road for the first win of their season. Steelers at Jets. All right. Pittsburgh, you're -2.5 in this one. And I like to call this the A-Rod Bowl. A-Rod, you played for the Jets last year. Now you're on Pittsburgh. What type of A-Rod are we going to see here? One that's all strung out on dope, or one that's focused, slinging the ball with hope? Okay? You got DK Metcalf over there. That's going to be a good matchup with him and Sauce Gardner. I'm going to keep my eyes peeled for that. I like the Steelers to get the win there on the road. Giants at Commanders. Washington, you're -6.5 on this point spread for this one. This is an in-game divisional matchup. All right, so this game's going to be close. Don't just think Commanders are going to blow this team out, because I don't think it's going to happen that way. I really don't. I think, it's going to be within about 5 points. So I'll take the Commanders still to win. But Giants ain't just going to roll over and play possum. I tell you that, pussy. Panthers at Jaguars. Jacksonville, you're -3.5 on the spread in this one. And honestly, I'm just going to take you guys anyway, because Carolina ain't got enough. All right? I'm taking Jacksonville, Jesus, and Trevor Lawrence. I like Trevor Lawrence to throw for a bunch in this one as well. I'm thinking about a good 280, 300 yards. All right? Maybe a Travis Hunter touchdown. And I want to let you guys in on a little secret. This first game between the Panthers and Jags, you're going to see old players duking it out. Tet McMillan and Travis Hunter, as they went up against each other in high school. So they're very fond of each other. That's going to be a good matchup, a good rookie battle. I like to see who wins that one. Bengals at Browns. Bengals, you're -5.5 on the point spread in this game. This is also an in-divisional matchup here in the AFC between these two. This is a no-brainer. I'm taking the Bengals in this one. All right. Jamar Chase, I look for you to have a good game, and T. Higgins. You know what I think I'm going to do? Take a T. Higgins anytime touchdown in this one as well. Bucks at Falcons. All right. Bucks, you're -1.5 on the point spread in this game. This is also an in-division matchup there in the NFC South. All right. I'm just going to say this. Baker on the road. That guy's mean. He's tough. All right. Now you're going to go fly around with them Falcons in the dome. Michael Penix. It's going to be a duel. So you better come up guns blazing. All right. Now, in this one, I think I am going to take the Buccaneers. I like Baker to get an upset on the road, because that's what he does. Get into our 4 o'clock games. We got 4:05, 49ers at the Seattle Seahawks. Niners, you're -2.5 on this point spread in this game. This is also an in-divisional matchup in the NFC West there. This game's always played close. Seattle, you're at home. You got the 12th man to your advantage. 12th man. They use that as another element to their game, and that's the crowd. There in Seattle, that crowd goes crazy in that stadium, kind of hard to hear. So Seattle uses that to their advantage. Kind of a hard thing to get over for an opponent to come into that stadium and get wins. But nonetheless, I like the 49ers still to get the win on the road. Titans at Broncos. Broncos, you're -8.5 for the spread in this one. This is going to be an interesting game, quarterback play. You got two young cats dueling it out. Cam Ward, the #1 pick out of Miami. And you got Bo Nix there. He had a good season last year. Might get hit with that sophomore slump. Don't say I ain't told you so. But regardless, I think I am going to take Denver in this one. I just think that they got the better team, defense specifically. They really get after it. And they really got heat on that defense. Bo Nix, the reason why. Denver and Sean Payton had success last year. All them guys, man, they put it together well for that kid, all right? And in tune, he had success. I like them to get the win in this one. Cam Ward, you're still going to make your presence felt, all right? You're going to go through your growing pains as a rookie, all right? And that's okay. But once it starts clicking for you and you start connecting them dots, good Lord. Lions at Packers. This is an NFC North divisional matchup. 4:30 Eastern time in Lambeau. Packers, you're -2.5 on the spread in this one. And honestly, I don't know how the fuck we're underdogs. All right? And if that's the narrative you want to create, just run with it. All right? And I'm going to get straight to the point with this one. I don't give a fuck that you got Micah Parsons, all right? You know what? You made a splash, and that's good for you. But we got just enough fire to put you out, all right? Hold on. That's it. Had to bring them back, and these are wine tin, all right? I like the Lions to get the win here. 5th straight in Lambeau, dating back since 2021, we haven't lost there. And I see no different here, all right? We got one of the best quarterbacks in the league, in my opinion. You know, when we keep this guy clean, he throws dots, all right? And quite frankly, he ain't nothing but a show-off. And you know who I'm talking about, Mr. Jared Go-Off, all right? Because that's exactly what you're going to do in Lambeau this Sunday, all right? I got the Lions on the road. I like Dan Campbell in the game. Scratch, claw, and bite the shit out of Green Bay's kneecaps. Texans at the Rams. Rams, you got -3.5 on the point spread for this game. C.J. Stroud, say it loud. You done lived that sophomore slump and you got through it. Now you're looking for a redemption season and a bounce back. And I know you're going to do it. But I don't think you guys are going to get the win in this one on the road. I like the Rams at home. I like their pass rush, okay? I think they'll get after you guys. And I think Devontae Adams will get a touchdown. Hence, he's back home. California kid, back at home. I like the Rams at home as well. 8:20 game, Sunday night. This is a primetime one as we got two NFL MVPs duking it out at quarterback. Your two-time MVP with Lamar Jackson and your MVP from last year, Josh Allen. Now, this game, they're both going to go back and forth, all right? This is going to look like a Wild Western shootout, in my opinion. But I think the Ravens are going to get the edge in this one, and they're going to fly all over them herd of Buffaloes on the road, all right? I like the Ravens to get the win in this one. Josh Allen, I don't think you're going to do it. Monday night, we got an in-divisional matchup in the NFC North. We got the Vikings at the Bears. Minnesota, you're -1.5. This is going to be another interesting game at quarterback as we got two cats that are young. One is looking to avoid a sophomore slump, Caleb Williams, and the other one's looking to prove what he's got, J.J. McCarthy. We didn't see him last year, so this is his debut, okay? I like this game. I really don't give a fuck who wins, to be honest, because I don't like neither team. But I think the Bears will come out with a victory at home in this one. Well, as I put the blunt down here, you know, I think that's enough smoke for today. Lions, 4:30 Sunday. We're squaring off against Green Bay at Lambeau. Can we make it 5 straight at Lambeau? We've been kicking their ass all the way, dating back since 2021. All right? I think we're going to get the job done. Tonight, we got Dallas Cowboys at your Philadelphia Eagles. It's the banner raising tonight for your championship Eagles. So I'm going to tune into that. I appreciate your guys' ear today, man. Much respect. I appreciate you guys always tapping in with me as I maneuver through the smoke. You guys with me. All right? We're about to open the door and step right into week 1 in the NFL. So here we are. All your favorite teams, wish y'all luck this year. And I don't want to hear everybody, oh, this is my team. Oh, this is... All you motherfuckers are dick hoppers anyway. Let's be for real. All you motherfuckers are bandwagoners. All right? Whatever's hot, you want to jump on to feel hot too. All right? But hey, go on with your bad self. Because I'm about to get out of here with mine. You know what that is. You know what this is. Up in smoke. Pussy.